Okay, it's Adamant Distraction Gaming. In this video, what I'm gonna do is show you guys. So this is I'm blue here. Let's go ahead and change team colors. Those are awful team colors. Give me like gray and yellow. That's very hard to see. Anyway, fast palo rifle. But this guy, I wanted to demonstrate what humans can and should be doing. As I say here, Archmage and Casters in 4 vs 4. This was a fairly fun game to play. We're 2 orcs and 2 humans against 2 night elves and 2 orcs. So, can the humans dominate the night elves? This is basically what the game is going to come down to, and I thought this game was demonstrative of what good 4 vs 4 team play is. Nobody leaves because their hero dies. The game gets drawn out to a pleasurable length where everyone gets to try their things, and there's some decent late game play. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit because I'm observing a replay here. I didn't really have a strategy other than Archmage foots 2 casters, and we'll see that that's all you need really to do. Goal is triple hero. Goal is eventually having an expo. Goal is eventually to dominate the economy and eventually destroy your opponents through the big fights. So we're just, this is basic opening play, just creeping what you can creep. I'm doing a faster tech because I know I'm not fast expoing. I don't like to fast expo on this map because I feel like it's it's a big risk if the other team decides to rush and they all congregate on one expo, and then you try to defend it and your teammates are late to get there because they're too distracted creeping or setting up their own expo, and they don't really do anything, and it is what it is. So Teal and I just kind of creep together. I let him take some items, he lets me take some stuff, and then I help Purple out finish his expo here. And I'm not greedy to get experience. I let him get the experience of this expo and just help him clear out. That's good teamwork right there. Sometimes you want to help. You want to give moral boosts to your allies, and the moral boost, that's a good item for the paladin. The moral boost sometimes is allowing them a little extra XP, because I'm not too worried about what my XP is going to be. I know I'm going to eventually get what I need. So I'm just kind of lollygagging, creeping what I can creep, and just slowly getting my tech. I'm getting my first sanctum. I had tried to build 2 sanctums here, but for some reason the command did not reach the peasant, and he must have said someone else available, can someone else do this, and no one else volunteered, so I was down a sanctum until I realized that. At this point I think I go in expo because I realize, okay, we're not being rushed, nobody's harassing us, so this must be an opportunity to get an expo, and that's precisely what I'm doing. And Teal's gonna help me do that. I figure he's an orc, and he doesn't look. I mean, if I had time to look at this base, I would think he's not that great of an ally. It's indicated by the Shadow Hunter first, because I don't think we get a Tauren Chieftain at all on our side. I don't believe that happens. I believe my 2 orc allies are. Now this is dangerous creeping here. This Pink is being greedy and taking what they can get here. Pink is the enemy. Whereas this guy just crept a fairly dangerous camp all by himself. Looks like he's gonna skirmish here, and I noticed this when I'm over here with Teal, because he wanted us to creep this red camp. I think he pinged there. And I was not having this. I'm just building some 4 tower and expo Pretty standard human stuff. I'm not attacking a tier 3 yet, even though I could. I'm just trying to amass some kind of forces. And we came over here to try to... I spotted this guy, and I was like... I think he's still over here. He's not creeping. I was hoping to creep jack, so we go over here, and we spot him here. And looks like there's also some fighting going on here. I think we're going to converge for a fight soon. This guy right here is he's doing something that is bad for his team. His team is all on our side of the map pretty much, and they're getting into fights with us, and he's still creeping at home, and that's a big no-no. It's like at this point your creeping should be done. We've crept the whole bottom of the map. Your creeping should be done, and you should be with your team trying to pick off units and trying to win fights. So we are fighting here. And I'm like, where are my foots? Where are my units? And I think I was losing. I think I had already lost them. I just had a few, but I had enough here where we could essentially win this fight, because this guy, wherever he is, green, oh, he's way far behind. By the time he gets here, the fight is over. So the first skirmish goes to us. Even though, like, these guys got plenty of units. They have air, they've got lots of units. Now let's see if we can get the colors changed back so that we can see. Sometimes I find it easier to tell who's who when I don't have the now everybody's green and everybody's yellow. Two colors that look terrible right now in my screen. This might actually be hard to see because I have the... It's late at night and I have the what is it? The sunset colors on here. So I think that's peeling. I think that's showing through. But let's try to just make us all gray and then yellow. I wish there was a way I could manually change those colors. But at this point, you'll see I'm still tier 2, and I'm just making sorceresses primarily. I had a few priests, but I'm making sorceresses. I have just a second hero, the Mountain King at this point. This guy is creeping. This is a bit greedy here, I think, because we're about to hit their expo. We won a skirmish, so we're going to hit. He's trying to creep, and he's not going to really gain much benefit. He's already full of his items. He's level 4. He's just allowing this to happen. So this guy is the worst guy in the game, and he costs this team the game. But even if he was a bit more helpful to his team, I don't think he would have done much. So I always try to get scrolls now if I can. Protection scroll. It's mostly, in my mind, it's a morale thing. I felt like this fight was dangerous, and I wanted to get... I did not want to... I see my teammate TP out, and I'm like, I want to TP out too. Let's get out of here. So we all TP out, but we basically tickled them a little bit. And we were overextended, but this army right here looks a little bit scary. Chimeras, Tauren, Headhunters, even got Demolishers. A little bit of a scary army. They desperately need this noob to help them out. This guy is being very bad. Even though he's tier 3 and he's got loads of money, he should be asking for wood, and he should have something useful. But his team is attacking. At this point I thought maybe we were going to lose, because I had noticed, if you look at the food count of my ally here, who I couldn't even tell if he was making units. I saw he just had his hero. And I saw we were getting hit by tier 3 units like Berserks, Taurens, and Chimeras, and a little bit of a scary situation. But my teammate is being a good human. We're still both tier 2, but he's being a good human. He's building flying machines, and I am being a good human, and I'm building casters. And that's really the only two options you have as human. I tell us, let's not fight, let's not TP, because never TP to an expo in 4 vs 4. I've seen so many games where people just lose as soon as they decide they need to save an expo. Don't do it. It's more important for you not to lose your army than it is to save your expo. You can always rebuild it, but your army, you don't have time to rebuild it. You're going to be dead by then with the size of armies that come down on you. I noticed somebody was trying to creep. I think Teal here was trying to come up and he pinged the center, and I'm like, no. So we TP in, and you would think that we would be disadvantaged here. I'm just kind of like stuck. There's chimeras here, but this is where the flying machines are very helpful. Completely neutralize the chimeras. Taurens get kind of stuck over here. This guy, all these units can pick stuff off. These are killing all of our anti-air, but by this point, it's okay. And I'm in a good position, actually, where I'm able to pick off units and somehow survive. I'm stealing their spells, so they're not getting as much DPS as they think. I'm doing my best to kind of keep my MK active and alive, and kind of scaring off some heroes by using the bolts. But we were completely fine. And this is largely because my opponent, let me change the colors, because these colors are, I just felt like I couldn't tell things apart. We managed to survive that, and green, the entire time he was not there. So that was a true 3-on-3, excuse me, because gray only had his hero. So that was a true 3-on-3, but we definitely, because I was being a good human and the other human was being a good human, we were able to survive that. Because just headhunters alone with a shadow hunter, that's not very effective. The base is a little bit precarious. There's nowhere to retreat to. We had to hold the front line, and we managed to do that. Even though this guy's being smart, he's making chimeras, and this guy's being smart, he's making Tauren caster. But our guy is also harassing fairly well. Gray with his Blade Master, he's doing a pretty good job just keeping them busy. And again, this guy, he's finally, 15 minutes into the game, he's finally producing some kind of an army. And that's not looking too good. We're already fairly comfortably ahead. Now where am I? Where am I? It'd be good to know where the Bone Steel Army is. That is my in-game. Oh, I'm over here. That's right. I didn't want to waste time. I wanted to hit their expo because I knew they were weak. We just won a fight. They told me to wait, but it's okay. I know by the time they get to me, if they try to save this, I will run away, which I do. As soon as they TP, I go to meet with my ally. And purple's here, so we're all together. So this is going to be another fight. This is a fairly big fight that ends up happening. Again, another scroll. Slow, honestly, so here's something I'm noticing now because I was too busy trying to survive in the fight. But the slow on the chimeras kept my casters and hero from just being obliterated by the chimeras. Just by having slow on his units. So there's a pretty nice headhunter fight going on here. This guy, he properly saved our backline. This guy wasn't able to do anything. The old divide and conquer strategy. They lose some heroes. This is where they lost the game because they tried to save an expo, and you don't just let it go. Like, it's not worth throwing the game to try to save this guy's piddly amount of gold here, because now our heroes are being leveled and we're doing quite well. We're winning this fight, and we're gaining confidence and morale, and our opponents are just throwing away. They're feeding us essentially at this point. And this is kind of a crazy fight. It was all over the place. Green comes in very late. Suddenly I notice all his units, and I'm thinking, is this a good thing? So I focus fire his Demon Hunter to kind of get him out of there. And we do end up getting the kill. He should have been able to save that, but he didn't. And this guy is kind of losing his fight over here. So this is, I mean, this is a long, drawn-out fight. But we eventually turned the tide because they felt like they needed to save an Expo. They didn't do it with all 4 of them there. And I'm not sure if Gray was harassing something at this point. See, look at how useless these units are. The Hippogriff Riders, again, I don't know why Night Elf makes them. They're really bad. 4v4 players, you gotta stop making them. The Chimera Hippogriff is perfectly fine. Even Mass Dryads I would prefer over Hippogriff Riders. So we take the Expo, and our armies are stronger because of it. I'm tier 3 now. I'm just pumping casters. I don't have any other designs in mind. Just upgrading my casters and pumping casters, while my teammate just makes air. I instruct my team, let's kill their economy, because if they're stuck, they're almost out of gold. And at this point, you really need to control the Expos. And because we're all almost out of gold, but we have Expos that are running, and they do not. On a map like this, most 4vs4 maps, it comes down to winning a few battles and controlling the Expos. And then you just kind of bleed your opponents dry. I thought Gray was doing some work, but like he's still fairly low on food. I don't know if he lost a lot. He's making bats. My ally here, Teal, is one of those weird guys who makes towers in allies' bases. And there's some trash talk going on. But we wiped out 2 Expos in that time. And they're still trying to creep. This guy's got 3 heroes. He's still trying to creep. Items at this point are not going to win the game. Clearly there's 2 rings of regen on his Blade Master, but with the size of armies and the messiness of fights, the craziness of fights, you're not going to find it to be advantageous to try to stack your heroes. So he wanted to creep the center. Now he's thinking about attacking an Expo, but it's heavily towered. Meanwhile, we are in this space and we're winning this fight right here. Essentially, all that you missed was that Green he was in the front, and I was going to kill his Demon Hunter and take him back to his base. But at this point, I was getting a little bit worried that our anti-air was going to disappear, but not thinking that we had all these berserkers. Again, a lot of units from the opponents are slow. Like everything is slow. They're not doing a lot of damage, so their army is not as scary as you would think. At this point, I really should have used my scroll, but I was too focused on just trying to keep heroes alive and focusing on his hero, and just trying to gauge whether or not we were winning the fight or not. So it looked like, you know, we did pretty well, but they kind of won the field at the end of this. It's good to not stick around too long. Because they were going, if we had just stayed till the last man standing, we would have lost that particular fight. But see they're out of gold. He's at 44 food. He's still mining over here, but the gold is going to dry up pretty quick. These guys can't rebuild. They can't have a big army. 53 food. 71 food, 44, and 50, compared to 36, but this guy's been kind of just solo heroing it, and then 56 from my ally, 64 from myself, 59 from this guy, but we've got some breathing space. We have time to recover from that fight because we were in deep. Our this guy it's fine that he's not with the major fights because he's just helping destroy their economy and harass and annoy them. Looks like they creep the middle. I didn't know they crept the middle, but see, this is delaying them from hitting our expos and from hitting our economy. Like, that was their window of opportunity. They had to hit back. They had to hit back hard, and they didn't do it. I mean, we're fine. We would have been able to defend. I'm level 6. I'm telling my team we need to stop their economy because I know they seem to have stronger units overall. Because I was noticing the Tauren, I was noticing the Chimeras, and I was not too happy about seeing all that. And I wanted to make sure we didn't throw away a sure win. Okay, I didn't notice that this guy's Chimeras were not... I mean, sorry, his Taurens were not upgraded.
A player's forces are under attack.
He's generally out of money, so he's not going to have a fearsome, large Tauren caster army. This is where they lose. We get in on a fight here. I just kind of walk in. My teammate, he overextended himself, didn't take care of his hero. He loses his hero, but thankfully he doesn't just leave the game. This is where your team morale, being a good teammate, is helpful because your team has the morale to stick around and continue the fight. And, at this point, we've got a pretty sick army here. And I was a little worried about the Demolishers just wiping out my casters. But all I'm doing is just some basic attack move. I can hardly see my heroes because of all the air. But you can tell that units are slowed, and it's affecting like these slowed Tauren, it's affecting our opponents. They don't have any way to deal with all of the casters and all the mana that we have from my level 3 Brilliance Aura that I'm about to have. And the breakers are good too, because they don't die to any mass cast spells, and they don't they can't be, it doesn't matter if they had like Tauren Chieftain and stuff, like he can't stomp them, he can't do anything. I tried to pick off their hero, but we just weren't quite able to do it. And then the first guy leaves, so we know that it's I know at this point it's definitely a done deal. They're yellow is broke, orange is broke, green is broke, and I don't know, pink? Yeah, pink is broke. They're all broke. They're just sitting sad in their bases right now. It doesn't matter how many units they make at this point, or what levels they are, what items they have. None of that matters. We're just cleaning up now, and I have mass TP. And my army is not easily killable. You need a lot of Tauren, but if your Tauren are all slowed and you're not using your Spirit Walkers to disenchant the slow, because I think you would also be disenchanting the Berserker that I would have stolen from you, then you're fairly useless. This guy, I know this guy was, I mean, really both of their elves needed to be 100 food Chimera and just lay waste to us, because again, Purple's one of those guys who thinks late game rifles is any good, but he was okay for making the flying machines. That made him a good human, making the flying machines. So we're just cleaning it. There's some smack talk, and we're just cleaning up at the expos. We mass TP. This is the last fight of the game, which is hardly a fight at all. We just basically destroy green. And it doesn't matter how much he crept his Demon Hunter. Doesn't matter how much these guys did with that stuff. We were able to, with low items, just a few simple scrolls and stuff, just dominate the game. And yeah, so I noticed that he was towering here, that he has an expo here. It looks like he's trying to amass gold, and I'm like, nope, not having that. But we're gonna go ahead and just wipe you out. And thank you for playing. It was a fun game, though. There were some big battles. got to demonstrate the power of two of the human strengths, the flying machines and casters. Just a caster mix like this, heavy on the berserkers, heavy on the sorceresses. I just had a couple priests. This is not my mass priest strat. You can check out that video if you want. But and then Archmage. I tend to prefer going Archmage in these 4v4 games over like purple with the Paladin first, and the reason for that is the Brilliance aura. I think that's the best aura of the game that I can especially give to my allies. It would have been nice to have a Tauren Chieftain in our army in order to give us some extra speed. I'm not sure if I even noticed Teal's Shadowhunter doing anything toward the end of the game, but I'm almost ranked 200. I'm in the top 10 of the pages of BattleNet. I'm ranked 202 after this game. So my goal is, I guess, to be in top 100 for 4v4. And I was way ahead of my team on the scoreboard here. And let's kind of see what happened as a result of that. My hero score was massive. But even with just casters, 78 kills, Gray with his single hero had more kills than me, and those were like economy kills, peasants and stuff like that, peons. But still, I had more kills than even the guy who was almost strict anti-air, and a guy who massed headhunters. I mean, again, not bashing them. I don't even think we had shaman. No, we did. I think Gray had made casters at the end there. I think that was his big contribution. But through triple hero, always try to get triple hero if you can in 4v4, because the later the game goes, the stronger your heroes get, the more formidable they are, the more they can help in the game, and the more you need strong heroes to be anti-hero to their heroes. You need heroes to fight heroes in this game. So, and I almost always go Archmage. Actually, you know what? I don't typically go MK Paladin. My favorite combo is Archmage Panda Paladin. And the reason why I tend to get Panda, and I'll show this in another game at some point, they didn't have any humans, so it didn't need the Panda so much. Panda is more for anti-flying machine to kind of ensure that your team does have air dominance. But MK worked out perfectly fine for this game, as you can see, with my 6 hero kills, and then of course my economy was not the worst, not the best, but overall, there you go. That's just basic. That should be basic level human 4v4 play. Try to get triple hero. As you're getting your triple hero and you're tacking up, get casters. They're easy to upgrade. They're not that expensive. You can mass a good amount of them, and they're always effective. Slow is always effective. I have another video on how slow is just helped dominate a game where I had mostly sorceresses and still did very well. I easily won the game. Try not to go just straight breakers, straight sorceresses, straight priests, unless you're specifically doing a strat based around that. Otherwise, I would just stick with doing all three, and then at least the Archmage, at least solo Archmage, if you're not going to do all 3 heroes, or at least 2 heroes. And if I'm going to do a 2-hero build, I'm probably going to do Archmage, Paladin just to keep the Archmage alive a bit longer. But again, basic human 4v4. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this will help improve the 4v4 scene, because there's a lot of inadequate players. And although I'm no pro, I'm at least decent enough by being, ranked 202 out of, I don't know, hundreds, thousands. I'm at least decent enough where I feel like I can offer some advice on how to play this race to have better control, better games in 4v4. And I'll make like a basic. At some point, I'd like to make a 4v4 101 that would apply to all of the races and how to play and think about 4v4. So anyway, thank you for watching this, and have a good day.